Now there's one more thing that I'm going to show you how to do. You don't have to do this, but you can do this. And one of you had asked me about, can you make it with even just regular HTML where when you put your mouse over something, it will change. So like the font will like highlight or glow or something like that. And you can. So the first thing is we need to change these graphics so that way they actually glow. So I'm going to go ahead and find my about text. I'm going to change the layer style to give it sort of a glow. So I'm going to take away the drop shadow. Nope, I like the drop shadow. I'm going to take away the outer glow, which was a little bit of a shadow. I'm going to add in an inner glow. And maybe a slight change in the coloration. Make it a little bit more glowy. Actually, I can't tell a difference there. Looks the same. What about that? I think that looks pretty good. So I don't want to have to like redo this for each one of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it new style. That's fine. You can name it if you want. I don't use styles enough to really need to bother with names, but you know, depending on what job you do, it's probably important for some people. So I'm going to go into clouds and I'm going to find my style down here at the bottom. So right here, the new style I just made. Your new style will always be at the bottom unless you load something. Do the same thing for reviews and do the same thing for contacts right here. Now, a little issue here. I've already saved the original ones and I've removed my grids and my slices. So what do? So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of a trick here, I guess. I'm going to go ahead and flatten this. I'm going to copy. So highlight this with my marquee, copy it. And now I'm going to do is I'm going to open these with Photoshop. Before I do that, I'm going to actually close this though, because I don't need it and I don't want to accidentally hit save and lose my layers. So I'll hit don't save. And I'm going to go in here into Photoshop and I'm going to start opening these up. So open with Photoshop. Open contact with Photoshop. Open about with Photoshop. And where is the other one? There we go. Open clouds with Photoshop. Now I'm going to paste what I made. And now what I'm going to do is, this is sort of just a little trick. If I decided this earlier, it would have been easier because I could have just applied the style to my slices and resaved it. But my slices are gone, so to try to get it perfect would be difficult. So I have this pasting that I copied from the other one where I had all of them, so they're all in here. I'm going to find clouds, and I'm going to go ahead and switch this maybe to 50%. No, I'm going to keep it at 100. I'm going to switch this to multiply. And so now what I can do is I can see where the edges are and try to line it up perfectly. Switch this back to normal. And if I flip the eye on and off, I can see it looks perfectly aligned. So that's good. So I've got clouds. Go ahead and save for web. And I'm going to change this to go back on JPEG so it stays the same as it was. I'm going to save this as menu clouds for mouse over. And I could save it as whatever name I want. It doesn't really matter. The name is irrelevant. Do the same thing here. Zoom in quite a bit so I can compare easily. I have the about layer here. Switch this to multiply. You can switch it to whatever makes sense or works at the time. Like overlay might be easier depending on what you're trying to do. For me, with the colors I have, I think multiply is going to be easiest. So there we go. That one was easy. That one got a little lucky. So about, have it on, save for web, JPEG, keep everything the same, about, -o. And I can close these now, so I'm going to close clouds, don't save, close about, don't save, paste in contact, zoom in, find contact, which it should be at the bottom, change to multiply, move it right on top, switch back to normal, not quite, move it over one, there we go, save for web, save, contact, -O, and close that, and the last one, reviews. Now I'm going to save two versions of this, one where I intentionally make a mistake because I want you to see what will happen if you aren't careful. So, ooh, I think I got that one perfect on the first shot. Awesome. So, have the eyeball on, save for web, and reviews, -O. Alright, now I'm going to intentionally move this over some. Or do I want to move it the other way? Doesn't matter. But just so you can see. So you can see they are not aligned. And I'm going to go ahead and save this for web. I'm going to go ahead and call it -error. Just so I can show you what will happen if you're not careful. So all of these are the same size, which actually that could be a problem too. I'll go ahead and make it an error 2 as well. So I make this canvas size a little bit bigger. Switch these. So the background's the same, canvas size. And we're going to make this like 45. So maybe I accidentally made it too big because I wasn't using this method and I didn't do the slices and whatever. So save, reviews, error 2. Alright, don't save. Alright, so now I have everything that I need to make these have an effect where when you put your mouse over it, they change, they glow, or something like that. So what I need is I need to go to where those are. And here they are. Menu About, Menu Clouds, Menu Reviews, Menu Contacts. And I'm going to add in some extra code. So on these images, instead of it just ending like this, it's going to say on mouse over, so when the mouse is on top of it, equals this.src equals in a little comma symbol the name of the new image that I want it to look like. So remember, I used the same name except I added the hyphen and the 0. So images / menu _ about -0, because that's what I named mine. Close out the comma, close out the quotation marks. Now it's not done yet. I mean, I guess it could be, but if I save this and we look at it, it changes when the mouse is over it, but it doesn't change back. So what I also need is I need a event for on mouse out. So we're going to add that too. So inside of the same image tag, we're going to do on mouse out equals comma, nope, sorry, quotation mark, this dot src equals comma, and then what we want it to change to, which I want it to change back. You could have it change something else if you really want to, but I think that probably confuse people. So images hyphen menu _about .jpg, and I need to close the comma and I need to close the quotation mark. And now it should work. So if I save it and I open Safari and I refresh, here's our regular about, mouse over, mouse off, mouse over, mouse off. Cool, huh? So now I can do that same thing to all the rest. I'm going to go ahead and copy my on mouse over event and my on mouse out event, and I'm going to paste it on the end of each one of these. And if I refresh, now that I saved, they will work for all of them, except it's replacing them all with about, because I didn't. That was interesting. Because I didn't change the names. So something interesting here, when these replace, some of it actually shrank the menu. And we're going to see that same issue when I show you the error from earlier. So this needs to be menu clouds. This needs to be also menu clouds. This needs to be menu reviews -O. This needs to also be reviews. And this needs to be contact. So contact -O and contact. So now if we refresh this, they should all work as expected. Now I made that error, and I believe I did it with review. So let's see what happens if I put in that error one. So like obviously you wouldn't make an intentional error, but what if you accidentally made an error? Let's look at what it would do. So here, nothing's happening. Did I save? Did I refresh? There we go. So see how it's moving out and all the rest aren't? That could happen. If you're not careful, all of these could end up going in different directions. And that's probably what would happen if I wasn't so careful when I was doing Photoshop. Now this bouncing out is kind of cool. You might like that. You might want to make all of yours do that in the same direction and the same exact amount. You got to be careful so that way it looks intentful and purposeful and like it was done with care. You don't want them jumping out different amounts. You don't want them all to jump out just like 2 clicks over or 3 clicks over or whatever, so long as it's consistent. Now if you're really sloppy and we do error 2, my second version, watch what happens now. Not only does it jump out, but it also messes up the table. See? So that's also not so great. Now you could do something interesting with that if you wanted to, where they all like, you know, give themselves a little bit more room. But it might look a little weird. You definitely don't want to do it at the top because then this will also sink down and just, yeah, it's normally recommended that you keep everything the same size for your mouse overs. So we'll go ahead and put this back just to O. We'll save it and we'll refresh it. And now you can see I have my web page, my main template done. And now I can go in and I can make different versions. So I can make up my information about our services, and I can make up information about the clouds and then the reviews and the contact. Put it all in here, put the links in there, and then call it done. So for the next video, I'm going to actually do that. I'm not going to make you sit through and watch me make all this content or even bother recording it because that takes me extra time as well. I'm just going to go ahead and do it and make all these pages and then show you when I have them done so then you can see how I link this menu up efficiently.